Okay guys, so before we get started, I want to tell you that this is my very first YouTube video, and doing my research, rebuilt a 72 Firebird formula from the ground up, paint, restoration, and I'm a DIY guy, so I like to do everything myself. Well, it came down to paint correction. Although I laid down a pretty good layer of paint, I do have some paint correction to make it show quality. So after doing a little research and talking to some people, and got some extremely high prices, up to around $2,000 to cut and buff, take some orange peel out, and bring it to show quality. I decided that well, since I'm a DIY guy, I'm going to go ahead and do it myself. So here's some of the things that I'm doing. Yeah, this is the almost completed the rest of the car. This is one section, but I decided that I wanted to go ahead and do a video. And like I say, it's my very first one, so might be a little off balance, who knows. Before we get started, you know, in finding out some of this stuff, I wanted to give thanks to, number one, the gunman. Extremely nice, good painter. And before I start spraying, I always watch a video of him spraying. He's just got some really nice smooth moves, and the guy knows what he's doing. Also, Tony at Learn Auto Body and Paint has some very good videos, and DIY for the DIY guy, and I picked up some things from him. Todd over at Esoteric, if I'm even pronouncing that right. Thank you, Todd. Has some very good products, and which I'm going to be using here today. And Scott at Dallas Paint Correction and Detail. All you guys have contributed to my knowledge and getting this paint right. And I am not a professional painter, I'm not a professional detailer, but I have done automotive work, restoration type of things on my own level for quite a while. But I wanted to get to this point because no one, what I've seen, really shows how to do this. And what I'm going to do first is I've got some dust nibs in here. I'm going to show you what I found out to get rid of those little nibs. Works really good. And then I'm going to come back through with a 5-inch Merca air sander with 1500 3M Trizact, and that's going to flatten the panel, take the orange peel off of there. After the 1500, I'm going with the 3000 Trizact, and that'll smooth out the 1500 scratches. And get ready for compounding. So these are the products that I'm using now. So this would be the 3M Trizact clear coat. Now this is the Trizact is for wet sanding, and is actually spritz water sanding is what I call it, and works really well. I did use the dry 1500 on some of the car, and I do like that also. It's really easy to see where you've flattened out the orange peel, but you go through a lot of paper. So I went with the 1500 Trizact, and I do a lot of wiping to make sure I'm not going too deep, and it works really well. So then I follow it up with the Trizact 3000. That'll take off those scratches, and then what I'll do is I have a Rupe 1500, a 15 ES which I'll put a Meguiar's microfiber cutting disc on, and there's recommendations from Todd at Esoteric, and I'm going to be using it with the Sonax Cut Max. Found it works really easy. You don't use a lot of product, and it's amazing how little product you use. And then I'll follow it up with the Sonax 0406 with a yellow Rupus pad, and that'll bring the shine up, and a lot of people will even stop there. I am going to go one more step in a later time with the white pad and the finishing compound, but for now I'm going to show you how I do it, and it may be the wrong way, it might be the right way, but this is what I've kind of learned from all you guys on the other YouTube channels on my way to do it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the 1500 on a medium intermediate pad on the Mirka. And that'll get me started. Before I do that, I'm going to take this little jewel of a tool, and it's amazing, and I had a hard time purchasing this because it is a little expensive, but this Festool, little piece of carbon, but it's amazing how easy this thing makes it. So I do have a couple little dust nibs there, and I'll go ahead and show you how I use it. Start right here. You got to kind of be careful on some of the angles, especially if you're at an angle, but this little guy will take them nubs out without damaging the surrounding areas. You want to get that out because even with the 1500, it'll take them down, but it also leaves a spot around them. So you want to try to get these nibs out of there the best you can. Makes everything a lot easier. So I'm just going around and hit it a couple different angles, look at the body line and see where I'm at. You don't want to cut in because then you got a bigger problem. But if you use this Festool, and it's really easy, I'm using real light pressure. So it just takes these little guys off. Just be patient. Take some little dust nibs off of there. There's a little bit bigger one here. You don't want to try to push it through all at once. This piece of carbon, it's unbelievable. And I just kind of cut through, you know, use a little right angles and cutting. This one's a little bit bigger. There it goes. So once you get it down, then you just, you know, kind of wipe it until you don't feel it anymore, and it's gone. And I'd have to tell you, before I got started doing this, the very hardest thing to do was taking these kind of tools to a freshly painted car, which you've spent a lot of money on in paint and supplies and time, mostly, getting it right, or the best you can, but it's not quite the best it could be. So after researching this and finding these little tools here, I found it's working out pretty nicely for me, and I like the end result. Again, it's not professional, but it's the best I do. And I know there's a lot of other guys out there that kind of do the same thing, but you guys that have posted these videos on YouTube, I really appreciate it, because I would have never done this kind of thing without first spending hours watching you guys. So there we've we've done a little bit of denibbing. Still a little bit left on that one, but you got to be careful. You don't want to go too deep, but you don't want what you don't get will be there when you're done sanding. So you want to get as much as you can. There we go. And sometimes it just takes a little different angle to get it off of there. There we go. No feel. And this is very light pressure. So there we go with the denibbing. This is just a small area that I'm doing today. Well, I'll finish after the video, but I'm hoping this doesn't run too long. It's my very first video. So, clean. Keep it clean. Keep your panel clean. And we're sanding, yeah, but let's keep it clean. So first thing I'm going to do, the air chuck in there. I've already this stuff, but I wanted to show you, you know, start by clean the tool, blow the panel. You ready to go? So, I think I picked this up on another sanding YouTube. It was a McGuire's, I believe, but so we got to keep that paper wet and clean. That is the main thing here. And we're just going to spray a little bit of water on that and get started. Wipe that down, and you can see when it's flat. Still some orange peel here. It works really fast, this Trizact. And I'm probably being a little bit too careful, but I want to make sure that I don't go too deep. As a sand through is a redo. You're going to respray it. So there's still a little bit of orange peel on there. Always clean. Clean, clean, clean. Keep that pad clean. I had a squeegee on the other side there, but makes it a little bit easier to get the moisture off. Let me go get it. Also, you can use air to you see I still have, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but still got a little orange peel here, here, and around the edges. A little bit there, but it's all pretty good. I'm going to hit it again. Rinse the paper off. Gotta keep that stuff clean, so. Where I had this nib here, a little bit there, and around the edges. I'm not going to worry too much about it because I just want to show you guys what I'm doing here and what works for me. And like I say, the scariest part was putting the sandpaper on a fresh paint job. So we'll get a couple more little spots here. Okay, so I don't want to go too far with 1500 because I don't want to cut through that clear coat. Now, although I know how much clear coat I put on there. I put 3 coats of Matrix MP42 on there. I really like that compared to some of the other clears I've sprayed. It's I guess a medium high field clear, or okay. We have this clean. That's what I want to see right there. There's a couple spots that I sprayed this in cold weather, so I was a little impatient on the flashing, I believe. So, anyways, that was the 1500 on a medium pad. And they babies really stick. These backing pads, the intermediate pads with this backing pad, man, they stick. Put that back on there. Try not to make this too long because I know how boring it gets, but I wanted to show you. So now I'm going with my 3000. If I can find it. There we go, right in front of me. The 3000, and we're going to put this on a soft intermediate pad on the same machine. And the 3000 goes really fast, so this just takes out, it's pretty flat. It hardly see any sand marks at all. You can see some in there. you can see we're already bringing a little bit of gloss back with the 3000. I really don't need to hit it that much because this Cut Max, this Sonax Cut Max, is pretty amazing. It says it'll take out, I believe it says it takes out 15 to 12 to sand scratches, so we don't have to hit that 3000 a whole bunch. I kind of like what I'm seeing there. I'm just checking to see, I don't know if you can see from that angle, see if there's any visible scratches, and I don't see any. Just that little bit with that 3000. You get a little bit of the gloss back, you know, it's coming back already. I'm going to take Meguiar's cutting pad and Sonax Cut Max, give it a little shake, 3 dots, up. I think all you need. That's probably a little bit too much for this size of panel, to tell you the truth. I'm going to start it low, spread it around a little bit, start it low, increase it to about 3.5 on this machine. And then right before I finish, I'm going to crank it up a little bit, real light pressure, and bring as much gloss as I can with this cutting pad. You'll be amazed on how much you can bring back. So let's go. Okay. Get a fresh towel. You don't want this towel you use to wipe the sand anymore. As you see, the gloss is already coming back really nicely. And that's with an aggressive pad, an aggressive compound, and I really like it. It wipes off really easy. You know, and that looks just fantastic right there. It looks great. We'll put the 15 away, and I'll tell you guys, I bought these machines secondhand. I did a little research, and found a good deal on 2 of these machines, and got the 15 ES, and I also have the LRH 21 Mark II. Come with a 6-inch backing plate, which I have 6-inch pads for, but on these smaller panels with these long throws, you find that the 6-inch is a little bit too big. I mean, this is not a bad area here, but when you get up around the fenders and the curves, they want to stop and stall, even these big machines. But I'm not a professional, and I could probably get them to work if I use them a little bit more. But anyways, I've got a 5-inch pad on the LRH 21, and this is the yellow Rupiz pad. Real nice pads. They seem a little stiff, but I don't. They warm up and they soften up a little bit, and they really put that product down. So, just to end this, get this video going, I'm just going to put 2 little dots and a little shake. 2 little dots on there, and again I'm going to start at a low speed, gradually increase it, and you know, I don't know, I haven't been to the detailing classes, so that probably would help, but I go ahead and start on a really slow speed and increase it as I go. I think the magic repetition here is 4 from what I see everybody doing. I started counting on how many times they're doing it, you know, crossing up, and 4 seems to be the magic number, and then I increase the speed right at the end. Gives it a real nice shine. So let's go. Alright, so you see what I did, went to a shiny but bumpy surface, down to a dull but flat surface, and I'm really satisfied with the results. I don't know what's out there, all products compared the same, but you know, I did the research and talked to Todd, and he showed me the Sonax, and really good. And like I say, there is another stage with the white pad we can do. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to complete the whole car, and then I'm going to go through with the white pad and do it, and then I'll figure out. I still haven't confirmed just to this right now what I'm going to use to seal with it, and what kind of carnubas I'm going to use, whatever.